We are going to get started with the Maestro Stage. Today is Thursday, November 14th, and we are focusing, this is the Maestro Stage. For those of you who are attending the live lesson, or for those of you who are watching the recordings within the course site, today we are focusing on theory therapy. Remember, the first week of every month, we focus on the new cool song and essential piano exercise. The second week of every month, we focus on theory therapy. Third week is innovative improvisation, and the fourth week is creative composition. So this right here, this is essential new age piano exercises. So we are going to be playing some examples from this. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Hopefully everything sounds okay and looks okay. I'm going to go into this book. We're going to be talking about some ways that we can take music theory and play music in a new age style. Let me just double check within a different browser, make sure everything sounds okay, looks okay. Okay, that is looking good. Let me come back over here. I'll check another browser. So that is sounding good too. Okay. I think that's looking okay. So we're live. Everything's going the way it should. Let me go to the overhead view. This is what I'd like to demonstrate. Again, we're going to be looking in my book, Essential New Age Piano Exercises. Every piano player should know. Since this is the Maestro Stage, we're going to go ahead a ways. Not too difficult, but a little more challenging. The left-hand pattern that I'd like to talk about, it's a simple left-hand pattern, but at the same time, it can be a little challenging. It is known as a 1-5-8 left-hand pattern, and then we're going to talk about 1-5-8-9-10. Now, this is found on page 47 from the book Essential New Age Piano Exercises. So right here, this is what I'm going to play. It's a simple left-hand pattern. Let me show you. We start on A, and we're going to do 1-5-8-5. Now, if I start with any key, and I start with that key, that would be 1. If I started on C, this would be 1. And then going up to the right, we would just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I start on C, 1-5-8-5 would sound like this. I'm playing C, then the G, then C, then G. That's 1-5-8-5. Those are eighth notes, 1 and 2 and. If you did 2 sets together, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a simple pattern. Now, on this page, it starts on A, then it goes down to F, then it drops down to C, and then it jumps up to G. Just a simple progression. Then, starting in measure 9 on page 47, starting on measure 9, we actually drop down to the D and do 1-5-8-5, 1-5-8-5. Then we go to F, A, G. So we're following that progression and pattern. So we start on D, then we jump up to F, and then we go to A, then G, and then F, then A, then C, and then G. Now, the right hand is blank. Intentionally, I left it blank. I didn't really push down the last note. The left hand is playing this progression. Right here, the right hand, I intentionally left the right hand blank because I want you to embellish. I want you to try to play around. I want you to take simple, maybe third intervals, like we had talked about in the Apprentice Stage. You could take those third intervals and start to play around, following the chord progression. I could start on A and do this. Then drop down to F. Then go up to C. Then drop down to G. I could do sixth intervals. Now, what I'm doing here, sometimes people will say, well, what are you doing with these intervals? If it says to play an A minor chord, I can start here on the A and go up doing third intervals, or I could start on the E and C coming down doing third intervals. That's all part of the A minor triad. Now, if I invert that and I put the A up on top, this is my sixth interval right here. Well, I could move up and down playing those intervals while the left hand is playing the 1, 5, 8, 5. I'm just going to play with my right hand. I'm starting on C and A, and I'm going to move to the right. Those are sixth intervals. Technically, I'm doing this. This is a third interval, but if you invert this third, it becomes the sixth. If you invert this third, it becomes the sixth. If you invert this third, it becomes the sixth. So I can do this, or it's the same thing. You're playing the same notes. One is just inverted. So watch this. That's all I did. Now, when I come down to the F, my right hand, I can do one of two things. I can do this. See that? Or I can go up here, put that F on top, invert it. So I could now have this. Or I've inverted it. So I could take that first line, again, on page 47, I could take this first line. The right hand has A minor, F major, C major, G major. My left hand is following that progression of the 1, 5, 8, 5, 1, 5, 8, 5, starting on A, F, C, and G. And then with the right hand, I could do all third intervals. Watch this. So I could do that progression right there. Right hand is doing third intervals. Or I could invert those, and I could do sixth intervals with the right hand. See how I've inverted. Instead of doing this, oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. A minor. So this would be inverted here. See that? I'm just inverting the chords. That's all I'm doing. And you could go back and forth. You could start with the thirds and then go into the sixths. Those are third intervals with the right hand. And then instead of doing the thirds, I can do the sixth intervals. Same thing. We're just inverting them. Now, what is really fun about doing third and sixth intervals, these have all been blocked. Those are harmonic intervals. I could break them apart. And going up, it sounds fine, but coming down, it really sounds cool because I could do this. I'm coming down, doing the blocked intervals, or break them apart. What if I did the sixth interval? And it kind of sounds cool. I'm breaking them apart. I could intermix and do blocked and broken together at the same time and kind of play broken intervals followed by blocked intervals. See, all I'm doing is following, again, this chord progression found on page 47 from my book, Essential New Age Piano Exercises. The left hand is just doing a 1-5-8-5, 1-5-8-5 left hand pattern. The right hand is just following these chords, either doing blocked or broken intervals, thirds or sixth intervals. That is all I'm doing. As an example, I'm going to turn the page. Again, this is still in my book, Essential New Age Piano Exercises, every piano player should know. This is titled Smooth Sailing. So it's a simple composition. It's primarily playing third intervals and then sixth intervals that I've broken apart. But those sixth intervals, I decided to, instead of just having the sixth interval, I decided to add in a note, a neighboring tone, right next to the bottom interval, just to create a nice melodic line. And so this is titled Smooth Sailing. Let me play this for you. You will quickly see that the left hand is doing fourth or fifth intervals, blocked or broken, and then we start doing the 1-5-8-5, and then I did a slight variation of the 1-5-8-5. So here I did 1-5-8-5, but instead of doing 1-5-8-5 again, we just did 1-5-8-5, and then I just came down. Okay, this right here, if this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I just came down 6, 5, 4, 3, da 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 da. Kind of a fun left-hand pattern. Let me play this. This is titled Smooth Sailing. It's found on pages 48 and 49. So watch this. Here, both hands are going to be going at the same time. It may sound a little crazy. It's the most challenging part, but watch this. Now, it's titled Smooth Sailing. There is that section on page 49 where we have measures 23, 24, 25, 26, where it's not so smooth sailing. It's more rough waters where we have that. And so we have some interesting patterns. But again, this is smooth sailing. It's found on pages 48 and 49 from the book Essential New Age Piano Exercises. And what we are doing is we are doing third intervals and fifth intervals. That's primarily all we are doing. Again, a great way to practice playing around is to try to take the left hand and do a simple 1-5-8-5 left hand pattern. And follow a progression. In this case, it was A, which is your 6th chord, F, which is your 4th chord, C, which is your 1 chord, G, which is your 5 chord, and we're doing the 1-5-8-5. Those are eighth notes, 1 and 2 and if you do 2 sets back to back, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a simple left-hand pattern, but it's very helpful. And then if you just try to improvise and take either the third intervals or the sixth intervals and either play them harmonic, blocked, or broken, you can really create some beautiful sounds. My right hand was only doing sixth intervals there at the end, moving up and down, playing third or sixth intervals. My left hand was just playing the 1-5-8-5 left hand pattern. And again, you can go up, you can go down, you can go in order following the C major scale, just moving up according to the C major scale, or you can bounce around. You can play one note here, jump up, do another note, blocked or broken, and it sounds good. It really comes together nicely, which is so fun because you are then free to experiment. You can create. Again, we're combining a little theory therapy with innovative improvisation today, but you're able to play around. You're able to start to arrange, improvise, compose, create music of your own. Work on that, see what you can come up with. I think you'll have fun. Today, I wanted to end this lesson before I start the Virtuoso Stage with a poem I wrote from my poetry book, The As If Principle, Motivational Poetry. This was written back, I think, in 2010-ish, 2010. And then my other poetry book is Poetry That Motivates. I have 2 new poetry books I'll be coming out with first part of next year. One, these are both motivational poems, poetry books that I've written featuring original poems I've written. One of the new poetry books is going to be motivational as well, and one is going to be silly, nonsensical, reminiscent of Dr. Seuss, reminiscent of Shel Silverstein. So that will be fun. I'm excited to come out. That's a completely different genre from the motivational poems, and I'm excited to come out with that book as well. That book is titled Poetry Schmoetry, so that will be coming out first part of spring of next year. But let me read from this book, The As If Principle, Motivational Poetry. This is actually found on page 40, this is titled Tomorrow. So this is about searching for tomorrow. This is what it says. I left yesterday searching for tomorrow. Along the way, I encountered today, and she said I could borrow an hour or two to help me get through this journey I'd begun. The sun above began to sag. I saw tomorrow begin to drag. I quickened my pace and lengthened my stride. My joy and zeal I could not hide. I knew tomorrow I'd one day find to capture my time. Tomorrow fled yet once again and left me far behind. The rising sun crawled up the sky, scaling the heavens, whilst I did cry, for I had almost within my reach tomorrow's treasures unknown to teach. So many a traveler, traveling his trail, hath journeyed in search without much avail. For a dream of tomorrow comes only tomorrow, just after the rising sun hath scaled up the heavens, with earth as its haven, proclaiming the new day's begun. Yesterday's missing, tomorrow is unknown. Today, with its trials and fortunes alone, is enough to assure me the knowledge I seek, to capture my treasures and sow what I'll reap. So that is from my poetry book, The As If Principle, Motivational Poetry. Hope you enjoy that. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of your week. Practice what we talked about in today's lesson and see what you can come up with. Wow, very motivational. Thank you. Appreciate that. So we're going to sign off for now, but we're going to be starting up the Virtuoso level piano lesson here in just a few minutes. For those of you who can stick around, those of you who are attending the live lesson, you can watch it, or if you're watching the recording within the course, you can log into your account and watch the recording in your account. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest. Bye.